It is Sunday night, and we are getting ready to start Sunday Night Live. I'm trying to decide if I need to change into these glasses, and I think I probably do. I think I see better with them. We'll see. See, otherwise I do this because they're readers. So, all right, we're going to go with these. I can see everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Let me see if I get close enough. Can I see? Oh, it's Cassidy. Hi, Cassidy. Welcome. So glad you're here. We're just getting ready to get started. Thank you so much for popping in. Feel free to tag somebody or send a wave. I love it when people wave and just interact. It's awesome. Michael Powell, thank you for jumping on. It's good to see you, and it's been a long time. I think of you this time of year because of the wonderful plays that we did with the Lapeer Community Theater. Very fun. I'm so glad that you're still popping in. It's great to see you. Mike Daniels, thank you for popping in. It's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. We're going to take a minute or two to let people kind of get in and get settled. Feel free to tag somebody that you know if you want them to get energized and motivated and get some just good soul food on a Sunday night before a Monday hits us, and it's going to hit us full in the face before we know it. We can get ready though by kind of getting settled. Bobby, thank you for being here. I love it when you pop in. Gosh, this is good. And boy, this whole past week for me always feels crazy because of the time change. It takes me forever to figure that out. So I'm glad that you're finally on track, and hopefully it doesn't feel like 8 o'clock to you, although I'm looking over there at the clock on my wall and I haven't changed it yet, so it's still telling me it's 8 o'clock. But you guys are right on time. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you for being here. Give me a wave, hit the thumbs up, whatever you want to do. We are going to get started because it is 7. Time to start. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I am Shannon LaBruyere, and I am live and loving it. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful to have you, so blessed to have you, and I want to invite you to invite your friends. Let them know good stuff is happening over here. I'd love for them to, like I said, get some soul food, get prepared for the big week ahead, hit the ground running tomorrow morning with everything we need to be able to manage whatever change comes our way. My catchphrase, my favorite catchphrase is, I want people to thrive in change. The changes that we pick, the changes that we don't pick, we can thrive if we've got some great tools that help us to be resilient, to help us to know how to bounce back, to help us learn how to cope in the middle. We are going to come out on the other side stronger, better, faster, like the Bionic Man. For those of you who watched the Bionic Man back in the day. So it's probably been a long time, so most of you haven't. But anyway, we can do it, and I'm here to help you know how. One thing I want to mention before we get started on tonight's motivational lesson, I want to invite you to a relaxing, joyous, fun-filled Christmas tea. It's going to be held here in Michigan, Rochester, Michigan, at Tanya's Tea Room. It's on December 17th, and there are 3 different tea times. I believe they start at 11, and you can come enjoy a lovely lunch, have some tea, and listen to me. I'm going to be doing some singing, I'm going to be doing some speaking, and all of it benefits one of my favorite charities, Helping Hands Gifts. Wanted to make sure I got that right. Helping Hands Gifts. Lara Shovlin is the director of that, and she is hosting a wonderful event that will be perfect for you to come and put your feet up, figuratively speaking, after getting all your Christmas shopping and all of those errands out of the way. You're going to be able to come and be energized and restored. I hope you can make it. I can't wait to see you there. If you're in the Michigan area, for sure, make plans to come December 17th. We would love to have you, and I'm excited to share my heart about this holiday season with all of you. All right, so let's get started. One of my favorite books is called The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. How many of you are familiar with that book? it was written not too long after World War II, so it's been around a long time. Corrie ten Boom and her sister Betsy, her older sister Betsy, and their elderly father housed Jews during the World War II, during the Nazi occupation in Holland. Hey, Kevin, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Corrie ten Boom, her older sister Betsy, and their elderly father hid Jews in the attic of their house, and they were ultimately arrested by the Nazis and thrown in prison camp. Corrie was in her 50s, Betsy was near 60, and here they were in the midst of a horrible turmoil. It was abysmal. The conditions in prison camps, as you know, were unbearable, absolutely terrible. And they were thrown into a giant barracks that was infested with fleas. It was horrible. There were hundreds of women just packed in there so tight, and the fleas were unbearable. And one day Corrie was complaining, and she was really complaining about those fleas. And her sister Betsy said, you know, God tells us that we're supposed to be grateful for all things. And Betsy did not smack her. I mean, Corrie didn't smack her, which if my sister had said that to me, I probably would have felt like it. But Betsy was always the one who was had the best attitude. She was the angel of the family, as Corrie said. So Corrie said, I'm not grateful for fleas. And Betsy said, you know, you really should be grateful for fleas. And they went back and forth. And finally, Betsy prayed, and she thanked God for the abysmal circumstances in that barracks. She thanked him that it smelled. She thanked him that it was crowded. She thanked him for the fleas. And Corrie said she just kind of set her teeth and turned her head and thought, I'm not thanking him for those fleas. Now fast forward about 8 weeks. What Corrie and Betsy found was that they had free reign in those barracks. They didn't seem to get interrupted by any of the Gestapo. They didn't get interrupted by any of the guards. And they were able to share their Christian faith uninterrupted for weeks without anybody coming and trying to stop them, possessing. They had a little secret Bible that they had smuggled in. They couldn't figure it out. And then one day, Corrie overheard one of the guards talking to the other guard. And this is what they said. I wouldn't go near those barracks for nothing. They are filled with fleas. And Betsy was right. They had something to be thankful for, even if it was the fleas. But because of those fleas, they were able to do what was important to them. They were able to share their faith. They were able to work without anybody interrupting them. They were able to pretty much create study groups and sharing groups, and they created a community in the midst of those barracks that they would have never been able to do if it hadn't have been infested with fleas. So what I want to talk about today is gratitude. It's the season, right? It's Thanksgiving coming up, and I love some of the Facebook posts I've been seeing. People who are going on Facebook and every day posting a new thing that they're grateful for, or just sharing a thing that they're grateful for all of November. I think that is so powerful. It is so wonderful. It is so helpful. And it's also something that we do too seldom. But I'm not here to lecture you for not being grateful enough, because I know, just like Corrie ten Boom knew, just like a lot of you know, that it is difficult to be grateful when you're in the midst of hard transition, tough change, when it feels like all hell has broken loose and is attacking you personally. It is tough to be grateful. But I want you to know it is absolutely necessary, and it's possible. This is the thing. When we are being hit on all sides by negative circumstances, things we don't like, when we're taking that assault on the chin, it wears us down. Excuse me. It wears us down, and our energy just gets sapped. Sometimes it's sapped because we're just furious and we've expended everywhere, like that. Sometimes it gets sapped because it's just the constant erosion of life. When will this Stop. And we, a lot of times, find it difficult to get a hold of that energy. That energy that has either taken us over because we're angry or outraged or we're in a panic, or that energy that we just can't seem to get back because we're depressed or we're tired or we're just worn down by life. There is an antidote to both of those things, and that is gratitude. What are you grateful for, even in the midst of the worst situation? Gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. I'm going to say that again. Gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. If you are always seeing your life as a glass half empty proposition, if you're always looking at every opportunity and thinking, that's never going to happen to me because nothing good ever happens to me, gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. Because when we can find something to be grateful for, you don't have to start by being grateful for everything, but you can start by finding one thing that you're grateful for. Just one. Sometimes during Thanksgiving, we feel compelled to be thankful for things. And that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to have a season devoted to focusing on what's good in our lives and appreciating it. But sometimes I think we check off the boxes instead of really allowing ourselves to sink down into that restful pillow of gratitude. We check off the boxes. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful for my pets. I'm thankful for my church. I'm thankful. And we just check, check, check. That's not a bad thing. I'm saying that a lot today, but it's not. It's not a bad thing. But here's a better thing. Instead of just checking the boxes, I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my wedding or my husband. I'm thankful for my marriage. Instead of checking those boxes, how about picking one thing and allowing yourself to really get your emotions around the gratitude that surrounds it? What would happen, for example, if you took something as simple as shopping for groceries and allowed yourself to sink in to that experience in gratitude? Now, I do not love shopping. I do not love shopping when it's snowy and icy and cold, and we are coming up on that right now. And years ago, when I worked afternoons for the Postal Service, I used to have to do my grocery shopping on my way home. So I would get to the grocery store at about 11:15 p.m. And when it was December and those roads were icy and it was cold, it was miserable. And I would dread it. I would dread it all day. I would hate it while I was doing it. And I would be miserable driving home knowing that I was going to have to unload those groceries. It was awful from start to finish. But what allowed me to start shifting that perception was allowing a little piece of gratitude to poke through. And when I saw the light, when I saw that door of gratitude start to crack open, and I put my hand and pushed it open, I wanted to see what's back there. I could not believe the gratitude that I had stored up that I didn't even know was there because I was so busy being angry and irate and resentful. Welcome, Claudette. We're talking about gratitude right now, and I'm really glad you're here. So you're right on time. Thank you for stopping in. So instead, when I was shopping and I was feeling that resentment, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go through. I'm going to have to load all this stuff. Going to have to haul it out in the rain. I'm going to have to drag it in the house. The little piece of hope that hit me when I was standing in the frozen foods aisle was all of the times when I was growing up that we didn't have groceries. And there were more times, and I'd like to count, when we didn't have groceries. We had a few canned goods, we had a little bit of milk, and there was nothing else. I went a month one time, and this is the truth. We went a month eating poached eggs on toast. Poached eggs on toast. Man, I did not appreciate them. And for some reason, thank God, as I was standing there in the frozen food aisle, Heather, welcome. As I was standing in the frozen food aisle, I remembered what it felt like to eat poached eggs on toast for a month straight. And I was grateful. I was grateful that I was able to buy some stuff out of the frozen food aisle. I was grateful that I was going to have something to haul in the house in the middle of the rain. I was thankful. And the more I allowed myself to feel that gratitude, the more gratitude I got. And so that's the key to being grateful. It's not just checking off the boxes. It's about allowing yourself to feel the gratitude and allowing that emotion to start shifting your energy, right? It shifts your energy. I think that might be Kaylee popped in. Welcome. Hi, Beth. Thanks for stopping in. Gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. Gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. And in this season, you might be going through a ton. And I know some of you are. Some of you, your husbands have lost their jobs. Some of you, you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. Some of you have lost somebody that you love. Thank you, Lisa. Absolutely true, right? Some of you have lost somebody that you love. You feel like the powers of hell have been unleashed on your life. And I want to tell you that you have within you the power to shift that tide. And that is if you will focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for? What do you cherish in your life? I don't even care if it's weird. I don't care. I'm not saying that when you're doing your gratitude exercises that you're going to be happy for the flea-infested barracks in a prison camp in World War II like Corrie ten Boom was. That was like superstar gratitude status. I'm talking about just being thankful for a job that maybe you hate, but where's your gratitude? What could you be grateful for in the midst of a job that you hate? What is there that you could focus on? What emotion can you latch onto that allows you to start shifting that energy? Remember last week we talked about where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So when you're focusing on the chaos, the panic, the thing that you don't like, the thing that you hate, what is happening? You're feeding it with your energy. When we can tap into our gratitude and our focus is now going on that, what's happening to that? When our focus is going toward the things that we appreciate and that we're grateful for, what our energy does is it feeds it and we get more. So that's the key. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you have got chaos, transition, change you don't like, if you're in a panic, if you're afraid, if you're angry, it doesn't matter what those circumstances are bringing out in you. The first most potent step that you can take is to decide, I'm going to find something and I'm going to be grateful. Have you ever tried that? Lisa, have you ever tried that? Heather, have you ever tried that? What are you grateful for? Where does your brain go when you're in the midst of that? Nothing's working out for me. I hate everything. Where do you go? Lisa says, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Yes, it does, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, I'm not one to get a tattoo, so none of my family who watches this, don't be afraid I'm going to run out and get one. But if I was gonna, that might be the one. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Every day we can choose to send our energy toward the things that are going to allow our gratitude to build, especially leading up here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, going toward Thanksgiving. Don't let chaos, pessimism, anxiety crowd out the gratitude. Because what gratitude does is it reminds our psyche that we are powerful and that we are not victims. And when we are not victims, we take more action. And when we take more action, what happens? Things change. The key to getting that going is to start with being grateful. I am grateful for what I have. I am grateful for this small thing or this weird thing. This week, I was so grateful for a hot bath. I don't know when I've been more grateful. I just felt overwhelmingly blessed to be able to sink down in a nice warm bathtub and unwind for a little while. It was marvelous and it was restorative. Heather's got a great point here. Exercise helps to break her out of pessimism. It does, doesn't it? There's something about moving, getting that energy flowing, right? Super, super important. Move around, change your vantage point. You know, if we're facing the same direction all the time, even physically, we are going to see the same sights. We're going to think the same thoughts. Shift that focus. Drive a different way home. How about go out there and run a little bit on your treadmill or get on that bicycle or do some jumping jacks, what, you know, Jack LaLanne does. Lisa says success is in the action. Thank you. Yes, actions are what leads us to the results and to our success. We're never going to be successful without taking action. And we can back that up when we are frustrated, in a panic, when we are depressed. If we can find a place of gratitude, it's going to get everything else started. If you can be grateful for the fact that you can do that jumping jack or go out there and do that yoga stretch, even if you don't want to do it, it changes everything. Michael, thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you're here. Gratitude is where it all begins. Gratitude is the antidote to pessimism. If you feel like a victim, find something to be grateful for. And once you find it, allow that emotion to start building in you and spend some time with it. That gets things marinating, if you will, in the right direction. Don't just check it off a list. I'm thankful for this or that. Let yourself sink in. Actually feel that gratitude, and it is going to change the way you approach your situation. You don't feel as much like a victim. You are more optimistic. It actually triggers great feel-good hormones in our body when we cultivate gratitude, and it allows us to start seeing the possibilities instead of feeling like we are always going to be on the receiving end of the negative and the bad. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and the place to start, if you don't know where to start, the place to start is to cultivate gratitude. Find one thing you're grateful for. It might be a hot bath. It might be a cupcake. It might be your home. Whatever it is, find it, sink in, let it marinate, let that emotion start to stir. And I just hope that between now and Thanksgiving, when we all gather together with folks, some of them we love, some of them we tolerate, between now and then, you're going to feel this energy boost that's going to transform the results that you're seeing in your life. Start with gratitude and watch what happens. That's all I have for you today. Do you have anything you want to share? What are you grateful for? Is there something crazy in your life that you're thankful for? Let's see what Lisa says. Gratitude is the antidote for pessimism, and I challenge you to try my attitude walking meditation exercise. Well, thank you, Lisa. You can stick a link in there, and we can give it a shot. Why not? Like Heather said, moving around, working out, getting some of that energy shifting makes a huge transformation, doesn't it? Anybody else have something to share? Gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. All right. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to share if you'd like. I love your comments, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday night. Bye. Mwah.